Welcome to another episode of Your Favorite Libertarian. Today we're going to talk about how to best protect your family on vacation and specifically at a theme park. There's a lot of things to consider, a lot of unconstitutional laws to comb through, and there's a lot of options that we can discuss that you can bring in those non-permissive environments. Let's talk about it. As you probably guessed, in a video like this, there's going to be at least one disclaimer. And that disclaimer is that I am not a lawyer and I am not giving legal advice. At any point, if you choose as an individual to bring any of these items to a theme park or anywhere else that's a non-permissive environment, you are doing so with the full knowledge that you are making your own choice on what is morally right in a situation, regardless of whatever legal ramifications there could be from using any of these items in self-defense of yourself or others, or having them found on your person. If you are a protector of innocent life, this video is for you. So you're going on vacation and you want to protect your family. That's great. Now we just need to figure out what we can bring to help us do that. What I like to do in planning for something like this is start at the destination and work my way back. And what that means is looking at the website of the place that you're going. Typically it's going to have all sorts of rules in there, and in the rules section it will have prohibited items. It's also important to understand what state your particular theme park is going to be in, as there are unconstitutional state laws that would prohibit you from maybe carrying a gun with a certain round capacity, or a gun in general if you don't have reciprocity for your concealed carry. There might also be some really weird knife laws that you have to worry about as far as lengths of blade and things like that. Just a bunch of really weird, stupid laws that you might have to think about. Now let's talk about what you can get away with through the airline. There's not only going to be rules for the TSA, but there's also going to be rules and prohibited items for the actual airline that you're flying through. One of the most popular ones is Delta, so we'll start there. I'm sure there's some slight variations between other airlines, but as far as Delta goes, there's certain things that you can check, certain things that you can carry on, and some of the things might surprise you. First, let's start with what we would all want to bring, a gun. You can't carry this on unless you're an air marshal, so sorry, but you can check this. There's tons of videos out there on how to do that, so this video is not going to be that. But keep in mind that even if you fly with this, you're probably going to have to leave the hotel when you go to the theme park, because they're definitely going to be able to detect this, and you're not going to be able to get into the park. Next up, let's talk about knives. So you can check a pocket knife, you can check a katana. There's all sorts of bladed items that you can check, which are pretty crazy. So this, completely fine to check, just can't carry it on. This, however, you cannot check. You can check a ton of fixed blades, but you cannot check a plastic blade in your check bag. Why? I have no idea. Brass knuckles, totally fine. Check them. It's totally allowed. Pepper spray, can't carry it on, but you can check it in your check bag. Flashlight, totally fine to carry on. You can check it too if you want, but this you could have on your person or in your check bag, completely fine. And there's a lot of good things about being able to bring a flashlight like this wherever you're going. We'll get into that a little bit later. Back to the venue itself. You've flown, you've figured out what you want to bring, and you've decided to check maybe these 3 items and then carry on your flashlight. So you've got this stuff with you. Again, we need to think about the park itself. What now, regardless of what the restrictions are, what they aren't, what could you get into the park itself? Well, you're not going to be able to get your pocket knife into the park itself. I would still have this on you in the hotel, any places you're going outside of the park, as there's not going to be metal detectors, and you're going to be able to have this just for utilitarian purposes and possibly defensive roles, but you're not going to be able to get this in the park itself, as there will be metal detectors. Let's talk about metal detectors. These three things here. Two of which are not going to set off the metal detectors at all. And this one, if it does set off a metal detector, they will see that it's a flashlight and they'll let you in with it anyway. Any park that you go to, especially these days, are going to have metal detectors, so there's going to be certain things that would be advantageous to pick up if you don't already have them. Pepper spray is going to be a great distance weapon outdoors. It's going to be a less than lethal option, which will be a lot less scarring for your children to see. And it's mostly plastic, so you'll be able to get it through a metal detector. Next up, we have plastic knuckles or Lexan knuckles. Keep in mind that these are a lethal option. They are a bludgeon, a force multiplier for striking. So if you are going to employ these, be sure that it is a situation where lethal force is justified. Now let's talk about the most underrated thing that you can bring to a theme park, a flashlight. As far as security goes, again, this might set off a metal detector, but if it does, the security guard is going to see this and say, oh, it's a flashlight, who cares? And you're going to be able to bring this in anyway. Also, this is something you can carry on a plane and something that you can have on your person all day and no one's going to bat an eye seeing it. Why is a flashlight good? Well, there's the more family-friendly reasons, like your kid dropped something and it's a souvenir and it was $25 for a little stuffed animal this big, so you need to be able to find it in the dark. You're looking through your bag, trying to find something. You're walking to the rental at night in the parking lot. You need to be able to see where you're going. Stuff like that. Now let's talk about the more tactical advantages of a flashlight, especially a really, really bright flashlight. Now this is a EDC L2T by Surefire, and it's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, if you will. It has a little admin option, so like a 5 lumen option. So if you're just doing those types of administrative tasks like we talked about before, it's great for that. But then if you press it all the way in, it's 1200 lumens of light. About 11,000 something candela, so not a whole lot of candela. It's not going to be great for super far throw, super far distance, but if someone's relatively close to you, you should be able to positively identify someone, see if they have weapons, see if they pose any type of threat, and shining a light that bright in someone's face is also going to be a psychological and physical deterrent and provide a short amount of temporary control. There may be a situation where you are walking through the parking lot, you see something or somebody that is just giving you this really bad vibe and looks really shady, like they're about to do something that you don't want them to do to you or your family. Shine this in their eyes. You've got control of the situation because you have the light in their eyes. You're positively identifying if they're a threat or not, checking for weapons, and they might think either you are a police officer, as police officers carry really bright white lights with them, and that might deter them, or they might just say, this guy's got a really bright light. I wonder what else he has. I probably don't want to find out. And you also have the ability to get your family somewhere else, grab another weapon, like an additional bludgeon, or something with a little bit more distance, like pepper spray, and it gives you a little bit more time to be more prepared. Also, you're using this before it even gets to that point, so anyone that's thinking about doing something sees a family with a really bright light scanning the parking lot, that's probably not the target that they're going to want to go after in the first place. In addition, if they are dumb enough to still try to do something to you, one good strike to the temple with this, and they're going to sleep for a long time. Again, keep in mind that this is a lethal option, so you want to make sure that if you're using this, lethal force is justified. One last item that gets an honorable mention is a pen. This is a Zebra F301. You can get 2 of these for about 10 bucks, so relatively inexpensive. It's metal, but it is not a tactical looking pen, so you can take this pretty much anywhere. It doubles, besides obviously using it to write, it also doubles as a stabby type weapon or a kubaton, depending on the amount of pressure you're exerting or applying in certain areas. And it's just great as kind of like a manly old-fashioned EDC to carry a pen with you anyway. Again though, this can get into any parks, you can travel with it, wherever you go, you can have a pen on you, and it's got a pocket clip so you can put it in your pocket and quickly get it out if you were to need it for writing or other things. Now that we've talked about all the different things that you can bring with you to protect your family, let's talk about something we can use to put it all in. This is a fanny pack by Spirited Systems. I did an in-depth review on it previously on my channel, so check that out if you haven't yet. It talks about all the different things that you can fit in it, and a couple of the reasons why you would want a fanny pack in this day and age. One of the great uses for it is for theme parks. A couple reasons for that. One, you can carry all your stuff in a fanny pack regardless of what type of seasonal clothing you're wearing. If it's summer and you're going somewhere warm with a theme park, it's probably going to be really hot. You might just have gym shorts on, you might have a bathing suit on, and regardless of the amount of pockets you have, you're going to be able to consistently carry the same stuff in the same place and easily access it. Also, pickpocketing is something that can happen at a theme park, being that it is a public place with a lot of people in crowds. You can get bumped into, someone could try to slip into your pocket and pull out your wallet just like that. And if you have something that's in front of your body that you can easily see, that zips up, you're less likely to have the issue of someone pickpocketing you. Also for rides, this is great because if you have a backpack, yeah, you can carry a lot of stuff in it, but the second you go onto a ride, you have to put it in a cubby, or someone has to hold it for you, or you have to sit it outside the ride, and you're creating a transitionary period between you being armed and not armed, and that's not a good thing to do. So with the fanny pack, you can have it on your person the entire time. When you get on the ride, you can slide it off to the side and still get the lap bar over. You're not going to go flying out of the ride, and also your stuff is not going to go flying out of the ride if you go upside down while you're on a roller coaster or whatever else. This is going to be zipped up. You're not going to have to worry about stuff flying out of your pockets because it's all going to be in here. The last and most important thing you should never leave home without is your mind. Your mind is the ultimate weapon. If you don't have the proper mindset, training, and situational awareness, none of the things that you would potentially bring to a theme park are going to matter. I'm not saying you have to be extremely paranoid while you're at a theme park. Have fun, have a great time. Just pay attention to the world around you and look for indicators that would suggest that something's out of place or isn't quite right. As humans, we have this innate sense to realize when that happens, but if we're not paying attention, we're not going to see it. If you want some excellent training on how to be situationally aware, use an escalation of force, non-lethal options, and for better understanding bad guys, I highly recommend MDFIs when a gun is not an option, especially if you have to frequent or sometimes need to go to non-permissive environments. Well, that's going to do it for me, and having fun and protecting yourself at the same time. It's a working title. Anyway, as a reminder, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. I'm not suggesting to do or not do anything. Make your own choices. Do what you feel is morally right, and have fun. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button, comment on your travel tips, and maybe some things that I didn't think about, or things that are completely unrelated to this video, just questions that you have, videos you want to see. I always read the comments and I try to reply to every single one of them. Be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, or like any of the other content I have so far on my channel. Check out the links below in my description, and as always, stay free. God bless.